Alright guys, let me set my alarm real quick. Here we go. Now clip it. I'm long-winded. So, I apologize, first of all, for being away for so long. This video hopefully will be quick. And I am going to tell you about a trip that I had a few weeks ago that I took to New York the weekend before Thanksgiving, and some of the things that I brought back. Some good things and some not so good things. As I said, I went to New York Thanksgiving weekend, or not Thanksgiving weekend, the weekend before, for a girls-only weekend for my birthday. Left the kids home with Dad and took off for a couple of days, early Saturday through late Sunday. Anyway, it actually turned into a girl-only weekend because some of my friends that we were trying to get this together and they were going to go with me, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, they're moms too, and so unfortunately it couldn't fit into they couldn't juggle their schedule around. So I went by myself. But that's okay. I had fun. First of all, I went up on the bus called the Washington Deluxe, and you can Google it on Washington Deluxe, or there are others. Just Google buses, Washington, D.C. to New York if you live in the, the Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C. area. One way was $25, round trip $46.50. Nice ride. It was 4 or 5 hours, not as quick as going up on the train, but definitely cheaper. I came back on the train. And, man. Okay, let me get this out of the way, because this is going to taint the whole thing, my whole video, until I get this out. This is where I brought back my bad thing. I got through my weekend, had a wonderful time, bought a couple of things that I'll show you in a minute, was waiting in Penn Station to catch the Amtrak back. I'm sitting in the waiting area. Here's my seat. There's another seat behind me. Why did a lady who was barfing up along and she was not covering her mouth sit right behind me? Yeah, right behind me. So not only is she contaminating everybody around me, but I am less than 6 inches. Literally, my back is less than 6 inches from her back. And she's coughing. And any of you know, you cough or sneeze, it doesn't just go in a straight line. It goes, So I get up. I don't sit there I'm not sitting there very long. 4 days later, Thanksgiving, I'm sick. And I have been sick ever since. If this continues, it will be 4 weeks Christmas Eve that I have been battling whatever it was. And I know that's where I got it from, because of the incubation period. And other things that I have been doing. And I hadn't been around anybody else sick. I mean, I've been out in New York, but, I'm pretty sure that I got it from this lady who was barfing up the lung in Penn Station. Anyway, so I have been to the doctor about a half a dozen times, been to the emergency room 3 times, 2 on my own steam, 1 via ambulance because of dehydration. So needless to say, I have not been a happy camper for the last 4 weeks. And if I'd have been really smart, Alec, I'd have turned to the lady and asked her for her name and her address, because I knew the way she was coughing, there was no way that I was going to avoid getting sick. There was no way. I wouldn't be surprised if there aren't other people that were in there with me that are sick. Maybe not as sick. I just wouldn't be surprised. But I would have asked her for her name and her phone number so I could send her my medical bills. Okay? Because I've been on antibiotics. I'm working on my 2nd course of steroids to try to knock this thing out. And I've got 2 kids that I got to take care of. So I'm ranting. I've been 5 minutes talking about what I brought back. It started out as a cold. It morphed into bronchitis. And now it's somewhere in between bronchitis and pneumonia. I guess I'm not sick enough for them to hospitalize me, but I got to take care of myself. Anyway, let me spend the last 5 minutes on something more pleasant and show you what I brought back from New York. I hit a couple of places. One place that I hit was called, I wanted to check out thrift stores. I hit the Angel Street Thrift Market. Thrift store. Excuse me. And it's at 118 West 17th Street, between 6th and 7th Street. This is an old shopping guide that I have. I didn't find anything there. Saw a vintage Valentino for $75. but it wasn't speaking to me. And I am trying to get in the habit that even if it's vintage, if it's not speaking to me, and you guys know what I mean. You know how sometimes a piece of clothing, whether it's a pair of shoes or it's a shirt or jeans, it just says, it's you, you know it, it's talking to you. Well, I'm trying to get in a better habit of that with my vintage stuff. But on the way back, I did catch a vintage jewelry store, and in the window was a hat that caught my attention and that took me in. The vintage jewelry store is called Pippin's Vintage Jewelry, and they're at 112 West 17th Street. And they have some nice stuff in there. I'm not a vintage jewelry girl. I saw lots of lovely stuff, but it wasn't speaking to me. And it was all reasonably priced. It wasn't crazy. You know, I think the most expensive thing that I saw in there was maybe $50. Maybe that. You know, and that was like a really old piece from like the 1920s, 1930s. Really rare kind of thing. But I did get this hat. It was my birthday weekend too. So this is not a thrift find. And it was a birthday treat, and it was, let's see, I got my receipt here, $55. I know, that seems a lot, but it's a really cool vintage hat from the 1940s, and that's part of the reason why. 1940s hats, you know, are getting kind of rare, and it's a beret, and it reminds me kind of a Hershey's Kiss, the way it's made, the way it twists. And it's got a little elastic on it, and it fits great on my head. I've worn it once. The other thing that I've checked out is a vintage store called The Family Jewels. And they have a website. You can Google The Family Jewels in New York. They're at 130. That's probably why I missed it. My old book has 120, I think. They're at 130 West 23rd Street. And I got this dress, and it's by a designer called Helena Barbary. They have expensive stuff in there. This is not in pristine condition by any means. One of the things is it's got some staining here, and then I didn't see it because the store is kind of dark, dimly lit. It's that ambiance kind of lighting, and unfortunately, if there is a flaw in the material or something, you're not going to see it until you get it out, you know, in broad daylight, which is one of the reasons why, in my opinion, if you're going to own a vintage store or a thrift store, you want not harsh lighting, but as close to natural lighting as possible, so people can check out the flaws. Because in a way, to me, it's a little bit dishonest having the light, because then, you know, like I didn't realize down here, there's actually a discoloration. It's not obvious because of the way the dress falls and the way it pleats, and it's a full dress with the bows in the back. But I caught myself looking over it, and I missed it. You know, because the store was dark. It was. But I paid $35 for it, so I'm not disappointed. Now, if I'd have paid $135, I'd have been ticked. But, you know, that's one of those things that you do. I'm going to wrap this up, because those were the two things, and I bought some other stuff. I went to a holiday market at Union Square Park, which was lovely. I enjoyed it. Had a wonderful truffle and cheddar pretzel, got some Hawaiian black sea salt and some tea, and just walked around, and I enjoyed the city. And it was wonderful. And unfortunately, my experience in Penn Station with the barf up a lung lady, kind of tainted it. And don't get me wrong, I hope she's well and healthy, you know, I really do, but that's just like my pet peeve, because I know what can happen with bugs, with a compromised immune system. I had two both of my daughters were born premature, and we hibernated every winter because we had to stay away from bugs. Anyway, so if you're out and about, please, please, for your health's sake, whether you think you're in good condition or not, because you just never know what people are going to have. If somebody sits next to you or whatever, and they're coughing up a lung and they're not practicing good hygiene, don't feel bad about moving, you know, because eventually you're going to be the one, if you don't do that, you're going to pay the price for it. I didn't get up fast enough, apparently not, and I'm still paying the price for it. So anyway, that's my little rant. So those are my couple of things, and I'm running out of time, so I'm going to wrap this up. I want to wish you guys a happy holidays. That includes Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa. I don't know, there may be some some Muslim religious holidays that fall in the month of December through the first of the year. Whatever it may be, I wish you happy holidays. I also wish you guys a healthy and prosperous 2010. Hopefully I will make another video. I'm not going to promise. There went my buzzer. I'm not going to promise that I'm going to be able to get back before the holidays are over. Maybe. But definitely by the first of the year, because I've got some stuff that I bought. And excuse me, I'm getting hot, so I'm starting to cough again. That I got after I got back from New York. Before this hit, because this hit on Thanksgiving, so I had a couple of days to do some thrifting and some other stuff. So I've got some stuff that I want to show you, some highlights. I've got some really cool, I'm not sure if it's vintage, but high-end designer stuff that you don't, well, one particular that you don't, very rarely do you see in a thrift store. But anyway, that's pretty much it. And I will see you guys later. Oh, by the way, you guys are seeing me on my anniversary present from my husband. All this stuff falls in my birthday, my anniversary, Christmas. I just clean up. But anyway, you guys are watching me on a flip camera that my husband got for me, because that other one, okay. Anyway, so let me know what you guys think about the picture and so forth and so on. So I'm running over again, I know. But anyway, I will see you guys later. Thanks. Bye-bye.